Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to figure out if a company's numbers are a roaring success or a quiet cry for help. Today we're diving into AMCON Distributing Company's latest report, and let's just say their fiscal year wrap-up might have a few surprises hidden in plain sight. Curious to see what is really going on behind the scenes? To get instant insights like these and join a community of savvy investors, make sure you swing by our Discord channel linked in the description below. Alright, so we're looking at an 8K filing from AMCON Distributing Company. Now, what is an 8K? Think of it as a company's way of telling the public about significant events they just cannot wait to share. It's usually for things that could really move the needle for investors, and in this case, AMCON is using this report to tell us about their financial results for the past fiscal year, which ended on the 30th of September 2025. This filing is basically announcing that they've released their yearly earnings reports. So the main event here is the actual financial performance of AMCON Distributing Company. Before we jump into the numbers, let's quickly see what kind of company AMCON is and where its stock is traded. They have common stock traded on the NYSE American under the ticker symbol DIT. This tells us they are a publicly traded company and their stock is available for anyone to buy or sell on a major stock exchange. This part of the filing is where we get the meat of the matter. They are reporting their results of operations and their financial condition. This is where we see how well the company has been doing financially. They've released a press release, and that press release is attached as an exhibit to this filing, which is usually where all the juicy financial details are. Now, this bit here is important for legal reasons. Companies often include this disclaimer to say that while they are putting this information out there, it is not considered an official filing for certain legal purposes, like Section 18 of the Exchange Act. This means they are less liable if some of the forward-looking statements or information in the press release turns out to be incorrect. It's a way for them to share news without guaranteeing every last detail will be perfect forever. Think of it as a while we believe this to be true. We are not legally binding ourselves to every single word clause. Here is what we're really looking for. Exhibit 99.1. This is the press release itself, the actual announcement of their financial results. This is where the numbers are. Companies put their best foot forward in these releases, so we'll be looking for the key performance indicators. The press release details AMCON Distributing Company's financial performance for the fiscal year ending the 30th of September 2025. While the filing itself doesn't provide the full financial statements here, the exhibit, the press release, would contain the most critical figures to give you a sense of what we typically find and look for. Let's imagine some scenarios based on common reporting. Typically, you'd see figures for revenue, cost of goods sold, gross profit, operating expenses, and net income. Let's say, hypothetically, the press release reported a revenue of $100 million. If that's up from $80 million last year, that's a solid 25% increase. That's fantastic. It suggests they are selling more products or services, which is great news. But we also need to look at costs. If their cost of goods sold also jumped significantly, say from $50 million to $70 million, that eats into the gains from increased revenue. In this hypothetical, our gross profit went from $30 million as well. So, even though they sold more, their profit on those sales didn't improve. Then we look at operating expenses, things like salaries, rent, marketing. If those also went up, maybe from $20 million to $25 million, then our net income could be squeezed further. In our made-up example, if net income was $10 million last year and is only $5 million this year, despite higher revenue, that's a red flag. It means the company is becoming less efficient at turning sales into actual profits. A 50% drop in net income, even with rising sales, is something that investors would certainly want to understand. We'd also be looking for things like earnings per share or EPS. If EPS has declined, it means that each share of stock is now worth less in terms of the company's profitability. For instance, if last year EPS was $1 and this year it is $0.5, that means the company's earnings have been cut in half on a per share basis. Shareholders would likely be disappointed. In the absence of the actual exhibit, in interpreting the intent of this filing, the core purpose of this 8K is to disclose the fiscal year and financial results. We are to assume that the press release attached details their revenue, profitability, and potentially other key metrics like cash flow and debt levels. The company is obligated to report significant changes, and the attachment of the press release is how they are doing it here. The disclaimer means they are being cautious about what they officially promise in this filing, but the press release itself is where the management's statement on their performance will be. So, what is the story here? AMCON Distributing Company has released its yearly financial report. The key to understanding their performance lies entirely within that attached press release. Are they growing in profit-wise? Are they facing rising costs that are eating into profit size? Did they manage to increase their bottom line? The actual money they make after all expenses to jury is still out without the exhibit. but the structure of this filing points to a straightforward announcement of fiscal results. Potential investors or analysts would be downloading that press release immediately after reviewing this form to get the full picture. Now, let's look at the bigger picture based on what we can infer. A company that issues an 8K for its financial results is generally signaling that there are noteworthy developments. If the results are strong, it's positive news. If they are weak, it's a concern. The fact that they are filing this suggests that these are results they feel are important enough to report promptly. The nice American listing means it's a company accessible to a broad range of investors. In conclusion, AMCON Distributing Company's filing is a standard but important announcement of their yearly financial performance. The critical details are hidden within the press release exhibit. Without that, we can only discuss the types of numbers we'd expect to see and their potential implications. The strength of this company hinges on whether their revenue growth outpaces their cost increases and if they are effectively growing their net income and earnings per S-hair. But for a definitive assessment, that press release is the next stop. Alright, that is our breakdown of AMCON Distributing Company's latest filing. What is your take on how companies announce their financial results? Do you find these 8K forms helpful? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out and keeps these videos coming. Subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings, and remember, don't forget to check out our Discord community linked in the description for more real-time insights and discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.